Welcome to the newest installment of the Untitled Film Nerd Project. My name is Philip, and joining me as always is TJ.
Hello.
We are on Chapter 6 of Season 2 of Stranger Things called The Spy. A lot of stuff happened this episode.
Yes.
Holy crap. Like that last 10 minutes, like that was tense.
Yes.
Like, whoo. So this one, let's see, we'll start with like Will. He's at the Institute after having his episode in the field. And Joyce, his mom, has a meeting with these doctors. And she's like, what's wrong with my son? And they don't know. They don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And we find out that Will is slowly like getting amnesia.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't remember who Bob is. In Will's timeline, they're figuring out that Will's connection to the creatures, because they bring a creature in and they start to light it on fire and he starts to react. So they put, the pieces together. And then later on, they're showing slides of Will's brain and it's just being overtaken by whatever's happening to him, like really fast. Because he remembers Mike, his friend, and Mike's face was so cute. He's like, yay. But he doesn't remember Hopper.
So far he just remembers his mom and Mike.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And he knows that Dr. Reiser is a doctor. Deductive reasoning. My favorite plot thread this episode was between Steve and Dustin.
Yes.
That was somewhat like there were so many one-liners.
Yes.
Between them, it was fun. They were like, "Are you sure it wasn't a reptile?" And Dustin goes, how do you know it's not a reptile? And Dustin says, "Because his face opened up and ate my cat." That's like awesome. So Steve and Dustin are at the cellar, and they're going to try and capture whatever the hell, this mini Demogorgon or whatever it is. And I was like, dude, you go down first. It was your damn fault. He made Steve go down. I'm like, Dustin, you need to go down there. But Steve goes down, and we find out that the creature has molted again, which was really creepy. Like, what's it turning into now?
Yeah.
And we find out that it busted through the wall. And the camera gives us like a nice pan of going through a tunnel, which makes you wonder, is this how the tunnels were made?
Mm-hmm.
And knowing how fucking big the tunnels are, holy shit, how big is this thing that made the tunnels?
Mm-hmm.
And then how does the monster tie into that? So we're slowly getting the pieces, but it's still right now very much like a, huh?
Yeah. And we were also shown that the caverns there's very much a cavern underneath Hawkins Institute. It
is way the hell down there, and it is huge. While Steve and Dustin are hunting the mini Demogorgon, with Nancy and Jonathan, their arc is they're mailing off the tapes, the doctored tapes, whatever the hell they did, to different news places. Then we get that awkward conversation at the table between weirdo guy and Nancy and Jonathan about them really being in love.
Uh-huh.
And then we get that awkward, will there, won't they thing, and Jonathan wants to approach Nancy, and Nancy wants to approach Jonathan, and I'm like, why, hello there, nipples, with Jonathan. I was like, damn, dude. Like, kind of, line of the episode comes from Crazy Guy when he goes, how was the pullout? I lost it. I was like, very nice. In reference to the pull-out couch, but, double entendre. Tee. It's like, first of all, too much information. I didn't need to know that. I think they're foreshadowing, because they hammered home in this part of the episode, like this whole story arc, with the Crazy Guy saying to water it down. And we know that the tunnels are avoiding water.
Yes.
So I think if they just flood them, it might work.
And it might be something that doesn't kill.
Yes, exactly. Like, it would just make him, like, what, cold? wet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think they're focusing on the wrong element, and they really pushed the water it down thing a couple times, and it's like really huge foreshadowing to me.
But it brings up, it was an excellent idea. Because how many times in movies and TV shows do we see where someone has, you know, proof or they know of a conspiracy and they go to the authorities and no one believes them, and it's just like, well, if you just change it to where it's believable, just change the story,
Right.
then you can get some action, and that's entirely what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I loved that.
Yes, I thought it was very cool, and as you said, very smart. And he needed his watered down vodka.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, if you like, vodka's Russian, he thought that 11 was Russian, and then so he thought the evil was Russian. He's watering down the evil. The evil is actually the tunnels. Water down the tunnels. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
I've connected the dots. So Lucas finds out about Code Red from his like really bratty sister.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? Goes to Max's, and I was waiting for something bad to happen there.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually Lucas and Max join up with Dustin and Steve later on. Then Hopper's story arc is he's recovering from whatever he ingested. And then, as you said, he finds out about the tunnels underground of the Institute.
Mm-hmm.
And then the really heartwarming talk he had with 11, who wasn't there, in his car. And he said, "I will be home soon." I was like, oh.
Yeah, that was sad.
I know. Further developments, we have kind of dual plot lines going on at the same time towards the end, like the last 10, 15 minutes, which was really well done.
Mm-hmm.
We have so Will said that he thinks he knows how to stop it, or something's going on. He said that there's a particular place that he can't see in the tunnels that the shadow monster doesn't want him to see. So he points it out, and they're going to send a team down there. At the same time, we have Steve and Dustin who are walking down the railroad tracks having the sex talk, and we found out about Steve's, Farrah Fawcett spray.
Yeah.
They meet up, like I said, with Lucas and Max, and they're at this like junkyard area, like scrap area, setting a trap for the mini Demigorgon. And I like the line, "Are you two going to help?" Because like he's like, "Only person to help me is this random girl."
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. So while they're setting the trap for the mini Demigorgon, we have the people going down into the tunnels. While they're waiting for the mini Demigorgon, we finally get our backstory on Angry Mullet and Pseudo Sister. And it was boring.
Yeah,
So,
it was way more anticlimactic than what I was expecting.
So it was very much what you like. I wanted her to be like number 7 or something, just something cool, but that didn't happen. Basically, the parents got divorced and they split up, and the brother's mad and he's taken out on her and she's mad because, blah, blah, blah. So we have 2 twists, which were both really well done. In the first part, in the junkyard scrap heap area, they can't get the Demigorgon to come. Like, they see it, but they can't get it to take the bait. So Steve goes outside to try and lure it. And then we have Lucas and Max on top of the bus, keeping an eye out. And then Lucas sees another one come into frame, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Because that had never been alluded to.
Yep.
We just knew of the one, and the one that came into frame at 3:00 looked the exact same like size as the one at 10:00.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, "Is this like they talked about this thing like about a virus multiplying?" That's what Dr. Reiser was talking about. So I'm like, did it multiply itself? Because they were the same size and everything as the other one. Well, even more holy shit, there's like a bunch of them.
Yep.
Like at least 5 or 6 there, if I recall. 4 to 6. And we have this like really tense scene where they're all chasing after Steve, and Steve gets back into the bus, and then all the Demigorgon things are attacking the bus, and then they all stop. And we get that really cool scene with one of them on top of the roof, and it's like shrieks, and Max freaks out, and we have this buddy and love story between Lucas and Max now. It runs away instead of attacking them. And then one of them realizes that they're going somewhere. And then we immediately go back to the people in the tunnels, and I'm like, oh shit! Like, you put the pieces together. So they're running towards the Institute, and somehow I assume they just use their Resident Evil mouths to burrow back into the ground, maybe. Unless there's a tunnel we don't know about. Like, I don't.
Yeah, there could be openings all over town.
Yeah, it came out of the ground at some point to come to the junkyard scrap heap area. So we find out, twist there is that Will set a trap.
Yep.
And he says the shadow monster made him. I don't know how. Like, I don't know.
Well, I do know that when he kind of came to at the beginning and he was suffering the amnesia bit, he just seemed kind of like in a trance.
Yeah. So I'm just more like, if it made him, what were the stakes? Like, do this or else. You know, what's the or else part? Yeah, I mean, they'll probably answer it in the next episode, which we'll get to tomorrow. But I'm very intrigued to see what exactly is the inner conflict going on with Will.
Yep.
So it's a big gray area. So another episode, a lot happened.
Yeah. And to go along with that conversation, we find out that's what the entire title of this episode was about.
Yes.
Will was the spy.
Yep. And not in the way we thought.
Yep.
So when Mike said in the previous episode, what happens if it finds out? Well, there you go.
And then it pretty much ends with probably Dr. Reiser having a flashback to aliens.
Nice. He's not again.
Which I did. One of the things I liked in this episode was finding out that he actually is concerned for Will's safety.
Yes, because he was talking the other doctors down from just burning it all.
Which would most likely kill Will, and he does not want that to happen. So, so yeah, I was like, okay, cool. He actually is a bit of a good guy.
Yeah, and then Nancy and John come back to Jonathan's house where they discover the tunnel map. So that had to be fucking weird.
It's got to be fucking weird for Jonathan every time that he enters that house.
I know. It's like, what the hell's going on now? I'm brooding and mysterious.
It's like first it was the lights, and now it's drawings.
Yeah. So
all over the place.
So yeah, very interesting episode. It'll be interesting to see the fallout against Will. Since he admitted that it was a trick.
Well, then it's also going to be interesting to see how far the shadow creature takes it.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's going to be interesting to see how they develop the shadow monster's control. Like, what happens when Will's gone completely?
Well, and I mean, like, all those Demogorgon monsters are now getting ready to attack the Institute.
Yeah, true. That's because that's where we ended. They were coming up out of the hole.
Does it stop there?
Yeah, like, dang. You would think no. Like, there's got, like, the shadow monsters. I mean, I don't know. It's weird because, like, the shadow monster went inside Will. So I don't know. It's such a big unknown right now that's really hard to speculate.
Yep.
I did not expect them to be like 40 Demogorgons.
Yep.
Like all the dots on that fucking radar. Holy shit.
Yes.
Holy shit. Like, what happened? Between, Will coughing up the one and potentially being the same one that Dustin found, to now there's like 40 of them. There's like a lot of them. Holy crap. It was nothing but dots on the map.
There's probably a lot of missing pets in town.
So we have set up at the end a very survival horror video game scene. Like, that would be the opening to a survival horror game. And then you and your ragtag band of group go in and try and kill everything. Stranger Things of the game. So yeah, it's very interesting. Some more is explained, but a lot of unknowns still with Will and the Shadow Monster. So it'll be interesting to see where they go.
I mean, so far, like, we're now at the halfway point.
We're over halfway.
Yeah, over the halfway point, and I'm loving it.
Oh yeah, it's great. I was interested to see how they would expand the universe after season 1.
Mm-hmm.
And they give us little hints there at the end of the first season, between him coughing up the thing and then him flashing to the upside down place. I hope they finish strong with this. And I mean, from all accounts they have, since we're a little bit behind. And I hope the shadow monster isn't something lame.
Yeah.
Like, it was this huge thing, and then it hasn't been around since it went inside of Will. So,
Mm-hmm.
and that was a lot of shadow monster to ingest.
And then, we still got to see how 11 connects back to all this.
Yeah, because eventually, you think is she going to come back and use her mind powers to? Are they going to pull a House as October built, where they do the same thing twice?
Mm-hmm.
I guess we'll find out. Does she have powers to kind of divide the molecules in Will's body and get rid of just the shadow monster part, or bring it out of him or something? We don't know. And they couldn't have foreshadowed about number 8. You would think that's gonna be something.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only time we've seen her, is that very opening scene from the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
So you would think at some point she would show back up. Unless that's planting the seeds for season 3. I don't know.
We shall see.
Yes, but overall, I am very much enjoying this, and I will be happy to finish it up tomorrow.
Yes.
So we will have to call it for tonight. We will continue our watching and reviewing tomorrow. Is there anything else you would like to add?
Nope.
Alrighty. Well, that wraps up this episode and the viewing for tonight. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Tune in literally tomorrow for us as we continue our Stranger Things marathon, where we watch episodes 7, 8, and 9. In the meantime, my name is Philip.
And I'm TJ.
And we will talk to you in our time tomorrow. Goodbye.
Bye.